Hi, my name is Dr. Marion, and I'm chair of the Political Science Department. I'm here today just to tell you a little bit about our programs and what you might expect if you do choose to become a political science major. The scene you have here is our building. We're located on the second floor of this building. It's Olin Hall. It's right next to the library and across from the jar, so it's right on main campus, real easy to find. So, as I said, today we're here to talk a little bit about this degree, what options you have, and what you might expect from our faculty, and then once you graduate. So what is political science? Political science, students learn about government. They learn about the three branches of government, the courts, the Congress, and the presidency. So we learn about each of those individually and how they interact. We also learn about other parts of government, like public opinion or the media, and how those are all of those things interact to make policies that govern what we do every day. So we learn about government, how those officials are elected, how you can influence those elections and campaigns. We also learn about domestic policies and foreign policies and how those affect our everyday lives. So if you're questioning whether or not political science is the degree for you, here's some questions. Are you interested in campaigns and elections? This is going to be a fascinating election coming up in November. So are you following that a lot? And the role of media and public opinion and maybe some of these protests that are going on for the election in the fall. Do you want to help other members of your community? You want to change policies. You want to change the way we do things. You might want to think about a political science degree. Are you interested in working in law enforcement, courts, or corrections? Again, this is something you might want to think about. International world affairs, very relevant in today's world, always changing, constantly new things, new people, new events. So again, those are some things that may drive you to a political science degree. So let's learn a little bit about the degree options that we have. We do have some different options to appeal to a lot of different people. We offer the Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, and there's some options there that you have, so we'll talk about those in a minute. We have a Security Studies program, and we also have a new program called our 3+3 degree, where you actually get a bachelor's degree and a JD, a law degree, at the same time. In addition to our degrees, our bachelor's degrees, we have some certificates and some minors. Here would be some options if you decide to major in a different area. You could come back and earn a certificate or a major, or minor, a double major or minor in these areas, pre-law, American politics. You can read those. You take generally 18 credits. For the most part, you don't have to add any extra courses to your degree program. You just have to choose your electives selectively to get the certificate or the minor. So if you do choose to become a political science major, here's some of your core requirements. Our Intro Government and Politics, World Politics. Intro to Political Research teaches you about the research process, methodology, some political thought courses, and comparative politics. Those are classes that are offered every semester. You won't have a problem getting those. They're taught by full-time faculty, and they give you a good introduction into what we do. So here's the options I talked about before. So you can major in American government, and if you do that, here's some options for courses. So you can focus on Congress, presidency, or the courts, the three branches of government. But as you see here, we also have some other interesting courses that I'm sure you will find fun to study. So you talk about politics in the media, which the media is critical to American government. We have a course called Inside the White House, where you learn about what goes on day to day in the White House. American politics and film, women in politics, state politics. Ohio politics tells you about what's going on just in the state of Ohio, which again is changing every day and a very interesting. We're the battleground state, so we're key to elections in the state of Ohio. Battlegrounds, we have national battlegrounds, campaign battlegrounds. These are courses that just follow the election, follow the campaign. So we have a lot of guest speakers come in. And then politics in the media. Again, media is really critical to, that was listed twice. So then we have a choice of IR or comparative track if you want to focus more on international politics. And you can see the courses here: international politics, developing states, European politics. Homeland security and terrorism will also show up in our security studies degree, but there are options for you. Terrorism and the Constitution, what are your rights there? How do we treat terrorists, someone who's accused of terrorism and committing acts of terrorism? What are their rights? World politics and film, how is that portrayed in the movies and film? And then weapons of mass destruction is also a very popular class. And I should make it clear there's way more classes than these that are offered for these two options, but these are just ones that are very popular classes that are offered almost every semester. So as I also mentioned to you before, we have a security studies track. So here are for people that, or this degree is for people that are really interested in Homeland Security, security studies, national security, intelligence. So again, you start with the same core courses as the other degree. Oh, but here's the electives down here at the bottom: American Foreign Policy, Homeland Security. You can read through those. But we do offer these again regularly, and you do learn a lot about our relations with other countries, with terrorism, how we can control terrorism to protect our country and our citizens from further terrorist acts. It's a very relevant degree. Students really enjoy it, and they go on to work in Homeland Security either for the state or federal level. We'll go on and do intelligence for local police departments even, or on the federal level. So it's a very popular degree. And again, as I mentioned, another option is this 3+3 degree that we just started with the law school at the University of Akron. The law school is located on campus. It's at the bottom of the hill is what we say. And again, the students start with the same core courses as the other degree students. But then they take electives related to law school. The key to this program is your 4th degree of your bachelor's program is your 1st degree of the law school. So in your junior year, you take the LSAT, and if you score high enough on that test and your GPA is high enough, then you will be admitted into the law school. You take their law school classes, so you take things like civil rights or civil liberties, legal writing, their constitutional classes, con law, and those count for your bachelor's degree as well as your JD. So instead of doing 3 years in your JD degree, your law degree, you'd only do 2, and you actually end up graduating with both degrees in 5 years. It's a new program. We have had many students go through it already. It's a popular program, and one that's very successful and exciting for us. So in addition to our classes, which are obviously really critical, but we also have a lot of opportunities for students, and I strongly suggest students get involved in some of our student organizations, because this is where you get to know the other students and you get to know the faculty very well. So if you do go on to school or need a letter of recommendation for a job, say, you will know the faculty and feel comfortable going and getting that letter of recommendation from them. We do have a lot of different experiential learning and groups and organizations on campus. So as you see, we have the pre-law club. Our ASG is our student government. A lot of times the officers are from political science department because they're very active. We have our college Republicans and college Democrats, also 2 very active organizations. They often have they're separate meetings, but they have joint meetings as well. So they'll have, for example, an election night watch party, which is always very fun. And then our Pi Sigma Alpha is our honorary society that meets every year. So you're invited to be in that organization based on your GPA and activities. So we mentioned a little bit about the internship there on that previous page. Our internships are through the Ray Bliss Institute of Applied Politics. If you are interested in the applied politics, so if you're interested in campaigning and elections, either behind the scenes or being a candidate and running for office, you might want to get involved with the Bliss Institute. It is a nonpartisan research organization that's affiliated with the department. They host a lot of speakers that come in. We've had governors come in. We've had representatives and senators come in, both from the state and federal level. Our students go on to work for a lot of these agencies. So they're very active, and they have a lot of students involved. So if you're interested in that perspective, you might want to get involved with them. But one thing they do is our internship program. So we have a very active internship program. It's offered fall, spring, and summer. It's open to all university students, but particularly political science students. We have some prereqs there with the minimum GPA and prerequisites. So here's the thing with the internships. We place students in all kinds of agencies. We place them in campaigning and elections. So we often have our interns working for different campaigns, Republican and Democrat, and lots of other, campaigns there. We have people working for the Republican and Democratic National Committees. So that could be either in the state of Ohio or on the federal level. We have students working for research agencies, for the Legislative Service Commission, for example, down in Columbus. We have students working in non-campaigning and elections. So we'll have them working on policy areas, policy research institutes. We have people going to courts, policing agencies, corrections agencies. We have students basically going to a whole range of different activities and organizations. So we do have one person whose sole job is to place interns. We have them in Ohio, we have them in Columbus, we have lots of placements in Washington, D.C. We place, sometimes we'll go international to Canada. We have students going up to Parliament in Canada. We've had students in France, in Italy, Peru, but mostly they're in the United States, either in Ohio, Columbus, or Washington. So you may be asking what career options if you graduate with our degree. The list of our past students and where they're working now is endless. You can see here from this list, and we've compiled this list based on where our grads have gone or are currently working. They're in campaigns and elections. They're working for Homeland Security. They're working in criminal justice agencies. They're working for policy agencies. So really the list is endless. We have students working in Ohio, outside of Ohio, basically all over the country. We have them working internationally. But, that's more rare. But they are basically everywhere. So that's the end of my presentation. Our department contact is there, our phone number, fax if you want to fax. My email, if you're interested, it's online. You can go and get my email. It's nmarion, Marion, at uakron.edu. If you email me with any questions at all, I'll try to answer it to the best that I can. You also see the contact there for the Institute if you have questions for them in particular. It's hard to come visit these days with the pandemic, but you're welcome to arrange a meeting if you'd like. We can show you around. There's not much to see these days, but we are available for phone conversations or emails, so feel free to let me know if you need anything else. So thanks a lot for listening, and I hope to see you soon.